Hey guys, it's me, Shanika with abeautifuldisasterblog.com. I am about to show you guys how to get this makeup look, which we just did for our spring lookbook, which is called In Full Bloom. I'm really excited about it because we have wanted to bring fashion to the blog for quite some time. But just like with everything, there's logistics, and we're finally doing it. And I really was kind of impressed with the pictures, and I liked how the makeup came out, so I figured it wouldn't be fair to show you how to get the style without showing you how to get the makeup. So if you are interested in replicating this look, which is a pretty, spring centric, bright colors, a pink lip, if you want to see how I got it, go ahead and keep watching. Thanks. Okay, so a couple things before I start. This is going to be a really light look, and I'm getting glare, so I'm gonna open that. But this is going to be a really light look. This is not like a full ton of makeup thrown at your face. This is going to be really fresh, because for this look I wanted something that was very springy, and to me that doesn't include a full face of makeup. I actually go with less is more during the summer because it gets hot, you get all oily, all in your T-zone. So this is going to be pretty quick. It's not a full like contour or anything like that, so don't look for me to teach you how to do that here. I am going to do that video later because a ton of people have asked me to teach them how to do that, and I'm finally stepping out and doing the makeup videos, so I will do that in another video. There's a little contour here, but really not a lot. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my foundation. You want to start with like a really fresh, clean face. You want to have your face already moisturized. I obviously have already done that, so we're going to move on. You do your face moisturization and situation however you want to do it, whatever works for you. I have a few different things I use, so we won't even get into that right now. I do like to, before I even start putting on my makeup, apply a little Fix Plus. This is from MAC. If you have never used it, I'm going to have everything that I used in the description box below, so there will be links and stuff. It's going to take me quite a long time, but people have been asking me to do this for a really long time, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. And so this just helps to freshen up your skin, give you like an even surface to work with to start with. I have pretty good skin, but I've been having some issues lately, so I'm going to go ahead and err on the side of caution to make everything come out the way I want. So that's something you're going to spray just a little bit away from your face. I like to fan it a little bit rather than like dabbing it. I've seen some people do that, but I just fan it so that it kind of can dry out a little, because it can be a little bit much. I have about a dime size worth of foundation on my hand. This is my Sephora foundation. It's really like affordable. It's like 20 bucks, and I am deep 55, which is cocoa. So I don't know how well you can see that. I can't really see too much in the mirror as to what you guys can see, but I will also put a link to that below. And that's really one of my favorite winter to spring foundations right now, because it's really not that dark, and I get pretty light like all in here during this time of year. I'm like pretty bright in here. Over the summer I'll turn a whole different color, so that'll be fun. And I'm just using a MAC 187. This is the special edition brush that came with the Christmas set this year. I do have this brush in a larger size, but I have little hands, and this just helps me. And so I just take this little dime size of foundation, and I try to like spread it evenly over my face. I do like a circular motion because it, to me, blends it out the best, and it's the fastest, and I'm always working on mommy time, so. So this is my Studio Fix powder, and I use this just to give myself like a little bit of a finish. This is just a random powder brush. I think I got this from like Victoria's Secret or something, but it does the job. So I just put a little bit of powder on to finish it. It keeps you from having, because I like to use liquid and foundations like the one you just saw, and so sometimes those can come out a little bit with a dewy finish, and that's not really my thing. I like a matte finish, but I like the consistency more of having like a liquid and then a powder to finish. Okay, next thing that I'm gonna do is really quickly to do like a very miniature contour. This is not like at all, you're not gonna look like Kim Kardashian doing this. What it will do though is brighten up a little bit under the eyes. For me, that just makes me look a little more awake, because I have very little tiny eyes, so that little bit of brightness, it helps me. And I have like a little flat Asian cookie face, so it gives me a little bit of a cheekbone or something going on. So it doesn't do a lot, but it does enough for me. So this is, forgetting to show you guys what this stuff is. This is Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and let's see what shade I use. 30, which is Cafe. And I usually use the MAC, which one is it? Oh, Pro Longwear, but my kids broke it, so. And you'll just put like a little, well, that's not a little triangle. Somebody somewhere is like, that's not little. This is little to me. Triangle of concealer under the eye and over the cheekbone for me. And everybody's contour and highlighting situation is different. This is actually technically a highlight right now, but everybody does it a little bit different according to their face and what, you know, they like and how it's going to show up on them. You really kind of have to know your own bone structure and really what's going to work for you and what you're trying to highlight and what you're trying to hide. For me, it's just trying to make myself look like I have more bone structure than I do, because honey, I'm a little genetically challenged in that area. So then I'm going to take my MAC Pro Sponge, and this has also been lived on. I have not even cleaned everything up for you guys today. I just want to make sure I got this done before I post that lookbook. And it's like you're showing us makeup, but you didn't show us how to do it. So, and people have been bugging me to do makeup tutorials, so I'm going to do it. So I took this Pro Sponge and I just got it a little bit damp, as you heard the water running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend what you see this situation out. Sometimes when I'm doing like a deep highlight and contour and I need to see everything together, I'll do like, what I'll do is I'll take this thing I almost put on my face as powder, which is Studio Tech, because I like a little bit of a gel consistency to my contour products. But this is very dark, and if you can see there the consistency of it, it's kind of like a jelly, like very gel like consistency. And I'll put that where I want to kind of, you know, make things darker and create cheekbones and leave all that up there and kind of blend it together. But we're not playing paint today, so we're just going to blend this out. The next thing that I'm going to do now that I have like my highlight situation sort of going, is I'm going to add a slight contour. So like I said, I showed you the gel that I would usually use. I'm not going to use that in this instance, because like I said, I wanted to keep it a little lighter, and that gel is kind of heavy. All that on your face and mixed together is just a lot. So what I use instead on other days is like a darker blush. Blunt is one that I go to, and I've written posts about it before on ABD, and this is one that I really love. This is Crazed Imagination from the Rocky Horror Picture Collection with MAC, which a couple of our friends are probably laughing watching this because I stayed up like a crazy person for that collection. I am a fanatic. But this is just a really like dark plummy color. And it has like a little bit of sparkle, but not too much. So I like to use it kind of as a, you know, double hitter blush contour when I do not feel like doing a whole lot of manipulating with the blunt and all that, whatever. So this is just the contour brush from Real Techniques, which you can get in a set at Ulta. It's really, really affordable. I like to get my brushes from everywhere, because sometimes, you know, MAC has superior products, and then other times you can find something very, very good for much, much less. But anyway, I'm going to take this brush like so. I already have some product there, and I'm going to place it like right underneath where I put that highlight, and just go in kind of in a circular motion. Again, it's kind of hard to do while I'm running my mouth. Usually I would like set my contour with like a translucent powder and all this other stuff. I'm not even gonna do that today. I didn't put a lot on, honestly. That's not a lot. Somebody somewhere is like, girl, that was a lot, but no, it wasn't. And so what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take this blush from Milani, and again, a lot of my stuff is loved on, so no label there, but this is from Milani. It is one of their big blushes. This one is number 1, and it's Dolce Pink. And I don't use this as a blush. This is one of those situations where, like, I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not going to tell you to use everything the way it's supposed to be used. This is a blush, but I use it as a highlight because I am a brown girl. None of this pink is showing up on me. It's just very pearly. And I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. So I'm going to take that and just apply it the top of my cheekbone, and it gives me a little bit of shine, not too much. Same thing here, a little bit of shine, but not too much. And in the summer and spring, I just like a lot of bronzy things. And this has a lot of bronziness to it. I really don't know how well everything is picking up because I'm seeing it secondhand in the back, but I think you can see there a lot of like pearly, like goldness in there. So once I have all that done, I take that same powder brush and I kind of like beat a little bit of whatever is left on it. Oh, I just sneezed. And then I just go back in and kind of blend everything together. And I'm not really worried about like taking off some of what I put on because I really kind of want to blend everything down together. You want to look seamless. You don't want to look like stacked on stacked on stacked. And then we're gonna move on to the eyes. The eyes were really actually the most important part of this look for me. I really wanted the eyes to like pop and like reflect all those spring colors. And surprisingly, this was really, really fast. My eyes, I always have to put a primer on because I don't get oily a lot of places besides like just in this area and my eyelids, and it will make my mascara, eyeliner, everything will run. So what I like to use is MAC's paint pots. So today we're going to use Groundwork, which is another one of my favorites. It's actually closer to my skin tone. So you can see there kind of the consistency of it. It's really like a cream based kind of product. And once I put it on, it's usually on for the day. And I'm just using a old Urban Decay shadow brush to put this on because it's one that I don't really use. It's one that came with, I think, one of my Naked palettes or something, and I don't particularly use those for eyeshadow. So I'm just applying that cream base all over my eyelid. So it's a little paint pot. I'm gonna put that aside, and I'm going to move on now to the eyeshadow. So for this one, I'm using several palettes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you this disclaimer that you do not have to use the exact same palette set to me. You can create this with a lot of different ranges and stages of makeup. So you do not need to buy the most expensive thing. You can get something for a similar, color and even a similar quality. It's really down to the tools, because I can use Forever 21 shadows and they'll come out like they came from Urban Decay if I use the right brushes. So that's just my opinion. Somebody might get mad in my comments for that. That's me. So I'm going to start out by giving myself a little bit of depth, and I like to use red tones for that in my crease, like red or caramelly kind of colors. So I really say all that to say this. These two shades right here that you see, and that is Morocco and Caramel. Those are like my go-to transition shades in the crease. So I'm gonna start out by putting Morocco in my crease today, because that's what I used when I did this look. And for me, I do not really actually have a crease. Thank you, little Asian eyes. But I create one, so. And then you're gonna move on and go ahead and add the purple. So this look had a lot of purples in it, and it kind of faded into like a peach and pink shade, which actually wasn't peach or pink, but you'll see that in just a second. So the next thing that I do is to create that depth in that crease for myself is I add a darker color, which is going to be this deep plum. Whoops. So I'm showing you the colors because if you don't have this palette, this was a limited edition. They do sell the singles, but you can also, like I said, use something that you have. Don't go out spending money just to recreate this look, girl. You just find something you have that's similar. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go right beneath where I put that red in there, and I'm going to give it that purple pop. So right where your crease is, where my crease would be, that's where I'm going to add this purple. And just so you guys know what kind of brushes I'm using, this is just my Sonia Kashuk brush, and I'm not actually sure which ones are which anymore. That's really bad. But as you can see, it's like a flat top, very round, very dense brush, and so it helps to just pack that color in there like a... The next thing I'm going to add is a brighter, more vibrant purple. And that purple came from one of my favorite palettes. This is the electric palette from Urban Decay. If you don't have this one, you should get it. I don't know why you don't have it, girl. But this one has all the bright colors that I love so much, and it just makes me happy. And a lot of people I know who either bought this and returned it, or they, you know, didn't buy it. It was because, I mean, these can be a little intimidating. They're quite bright. But what it is that it's, I mean, it all comes down to how you use it. If you are gentle with it, it'll be gentle with you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a flatter brush. I don't have a name for this one. Again, this came from the Sonia Kashuk set. And they don't have names on them like the handy Mac names. You guys should do that. Put names on the brushes. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put that into Urban, which is this purple shade right here. And I'm going to take just a little bit of that on the tip of my brush. Not too much, just enough. And I'm going to apply that right in here, like right. So we have the red transition shade up there. We have our purple deep plum shade right there. And we're going to throw this right in there with the plum, but just a little bit below. And with this, I kind of try to like pat it on, as well as like going over it, because you want to blend it, but you don't want to lose that color, if that makes any sense. So you don't want to blend it too hard, because it will, like I said, it's all in how you use the hand. It's honestly one of those things where it's like it could be as bright as Barney, or it could be just a very, very minimal kind of purple hue. So that's all you're going to use this for. You don't need this for anything else. So even if you have like a bright purple color of your own, go ahead and use that. The last shade that I'm going to put on, I told you this was really simple. It's not a whole bunch going on, girlfriend. So the last thing that I'm going to add here is going to be a matte peach shade. So it's actually, it came out in the pictures looking pretty pink. But it's not really pink. It's just the fact that, you know, you got all these purples and reds and playing off of that matte, you know, nude shade. So I'm using my Urban Decay Vice palette. This is the Vice 3 LTD, actually. Sorry, go back. So the Vice is permanent. This is not. But this shade here that I'm going to use is honestly one that I have in several other palettes. And I still have the plastic on this. So this is Laced, and it's a matte shade. As you can see there, it doesn't have any sparkle to it or anything, which is what I wanted. I wanted that muted but, you know, loud situation going on. So we got all this purple in the crease, we got this red going on up here, honey. We don't need to put like a bunch of sparkles down here. So I'm just gonna take my old faithful MAC brush, and I will put the name of this in the description box below, because I know it, but for some reason I can't pull it out of my hat right now. So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to apply very little bit, as you can see, to the tip, not too much. And you're going to go into that last little space that you have that's got nothing on it, and you're going to go in and just pat it gently. And again, I'm patting it because otherwise, if you start doing these little circle motions and you start like swiping, everything's going to get very muddy very fast, and you're not going to get that same effect as I had in the pictures, which is kind of like a very gradient situation. And pretty much we're almost there. See? Quick and easy. If I hadn't been talking this whole time, trust me, this would have been like a 6-minute video. But I don't feel like you guys have seen me do anything before as far as this, so I'm not gonna start, you know, just doing speed through without, you know, talking. So I'm going to just take my highbrow pencil. This is a Benefit product. You can also use any like iridescent, you know, type of shade. I think there's one in the Amrezy palette I like, which is Legend up here. It's a little bit iridescent, or any of these, you know, 3 right here in this area. So the pencil situation, it just makes it much easier. And I did a Benefit haul video. I'll put a link to that below too if you want to see that. But I do really like the Benefit brow products because they seem to be made for ease of people like me who don't have a lot of time. And so what I'm going to take and do with that is I'm going to just use my finger and blend that out a little bit. I am not going to do too much with my brows, so that's another reason why this seems a little bit out of, you know, context, because most of the time you do your brows before you put any highlighter or any other kind of situation around it. But I am not going to be doing that today, honey. Again, this is a look where it's very, very light and limited. I am just going to take this little hard angled brush though, because my nail lady made this eyebrow a little bit thin, and I'm going to go in and just thicken that up. Go ahead to my liner. Again, this is one of those situations where you do what works for you. I have the Inglot eyeliner gel 77 here, and I'm going to use that because that's like my personal favorite right now. This is a MAC 266. This is also a special edition brush from one of the Christmas collections. I really like the SEs because they're shorter and I have little hands, so I just have this. And I'm going to take that, just dip it just a little bit because there is a such thing as too much of this, but it's just a gel product. I'm going to take a little bit of that, not too much. And I'm far from the mirror. I actually like to get all up in the mirror when I do my gel liner situation, but I'm going to stay back here so you guys can see me. So I'm going to just pull, and I start from the inner eye to the out and then work my way back in and fix anything that I see that's not right. If I feel like I'm a little bit uneven there, I'll take a little bit of that light eyeshadow and go back in and clean it up, because nobody likes a messy liner application, least of all me. I'm really mad that I gotta be this far back from the mirror, but in order to keep you guys on a tripod situation, we have to work with what we gotta work with. So I'm just going back in there, cleaning up those lines. Okay, so liner is still intact, little neatened out, everything is good. My eyebrows are not on fleek, as they say, but I ain't got time to show y'all how to do that right now. So we're gonna move on with what we bring in. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is go ahead and line that bottom lash line. And I don't use anything special for that because I really have barely any waterline situation going on. So I just take a simple little Wet n Wild pencil, and this is like the darkest one they have. It's just Baby's Got Black or something like that, and I go in the bottom. And I've tried like white eyeliner and stuff like that. That really doesn't work for me. If I want to add color, what I do is smudge out just below that lash line, because putting it in my waterline is just not an option for me. If you want to tweak this look and go ahead and do that and see how it turns out for you, feel free. So there you have it. The eyes are done. Everything's done up there. Face is done. And lip. And for me, that was Colourpop's Corset. And I just did a really big Colourpop write-up for like 5 lipstick shades and a blush that I purchased. So I'm going to go ahead and put that link below also, so that if you want to see more about them or see the swatches and stuff, all of that is there. And this is just like a really nice kind of lavender shade. I don't know how well you guys can see that there, but yeah, it's also been loved because it's my favorite that I got from them. And all of Colourpop's lipsticks are $5, so you should go read my review and then go like fill up your cart. And this is a hyper glossy shade, so it does have a bit of shine. And I think one of my favorite things about these is how they apply. They apply really easily because they have like this slanted situation going on, so you just throw it on there. I do not tend to wear liner with lighter lipsticks, simply because I have a dark lip line, so pretty much if I don't overline my lips with lipstick, it should show up pretty good. So altogether, this is pretty much where you're going to be finished at. So I hope that this was very helpful to you all. If you did like this tutorial, go ahead and thumbs up or subscribe, share it, do whatever you got to do with it. But I hope that you learned something from me, if not how to stab yourself in the eye with eyeliner pencil almost. So thank you for watching. Bye.